Welcome to Mastering Your 2024 Goals, the revolutionary budgeting strategy with the Money Talk. I am Teresa Bartelle, financial coach.
And I'm Johnny Bartelle, co-host and spouse.
We would like to welcome you so much to our channel, and today we'll be talking to you about budgeting strategies. When we first got married, because we were financially illiterate, we didn't know anything about a budget. So the only thing that I did was write down what our income was, and then I wrote down on a piece of notebook paper what our expenses was, and then whatever else we had left is what we considered to be our living money. Like we did groceries and we did gas, but we did not tell our money what to do because we didn't know to do that.
Yes.
And so now we probably could have been in a better financial situation had we understood the power of having a budget.
Yeah, early on.
Yes, early on. So today we'll be discussing with you a budgeting strategy so that you can maintain your 2024 goals and that you can accomplish some of the things that you've set forth for your life. And so, honey, do you want to, give them some information about a budget template, like some things that they could possibly do now?
Well, again, the first thing you would need to do is to have a budgeting template. And pretty much what a budgeting template is something to help you track your monthly income and expenses that with more accuracy, right?
Right.
So with that particular template, it allows you to be on like a financial roadmap to help you get to your destination, right? Whatever destination that may be, it'll help you get there by having a budgeting template. What do you think about that, honey?
Yeah, and so once you get a budgeting template, you need to put in your income and you need to document your expenses. And when you do this, it gives you a clear picture of where your money is coming in, how much money you got going out, exactly what you're spending your money on, and it'll also bring you to your reality.
Yeah.
Right. You will see where you're spending money, like where the loopholes are. And once you do that, you can figure out where you need to cut back, because a lot of us, we spend too much money eating out, or we spend too much money on subscriptions.
Yeah.
And if you have a budgeting template, and if you're diligent with it, and if you're disciplined, you can go back and look at it at the end of the month and be able to cut back on some of your unnecessary expenses.
Yeah, and this is true because with that budgeting template, which we're going to talk about some various apps and tools that you can use to help you get to, track your income and track your expenses. One of the apps that we use is called YNAB, and it's why you need a budget. That's what that means, YNAB. And that particular app helps you do what my wife just said, helps you track your income, helps you see what's going out with your expenses, whether it's your if you have a car note, if you have mortgage, if you have your electric bills, whatever you have, it helps you see that by month, and it also rolls up to an annual, like an annualization of your budget, so you can see throughout the whole year what you spent in every category that you have established, right? Another one is Every Dollar. Every Dollar is a Dave Ramsey budgeting app that he has, and that's also a budgeting app that you can use. But if you don't want to go use budgeting apps, you can also use a spreadsheet, a simple tool that you can do it yourself, where you can track your income, what's coming in, and your expenses on what's going out. You want to care to kind of add to that, honey?
Yeah, and what I can say too with the budgeting apps or budgeting spreadsheet is basically whatever you choose to use is what you use. But I highly encourage you to use a budgeting app or use a budgeting template or use a spreadsheet, because most of the times when people hear the word budget, they're like, budget is a bad word. But what I'm telling you from experience, budgeting is not a bad word, and it doesn't constrain you from spending. A budget gives you a permission to spend. So like with the budgeting app that we use, I love to go to different stores and buy little things for the house.
Yeah.
Well, what I can do is look in my phone and look on that line and I call that line household. And if I don't have enough money on that line to get what I want for the house or whatever, guess what?
Yeah.
It's that says no. But if I have enough money on that line to buy what I need, guess what? It says yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
then that means that your budget is giving you permission to spend. You're going to have control over your money, and your money is not going to control you. And then when you have a budgeting app and you use a budgeting template, you're able to set goals.
Yes.
And that's what our conversation is about with you today, is your 2024 goals. They need to be realistic.
Mm-hmm. Measurable.
Right, and they got to be measurable. And so now, honey, do you want to elaborate and explain to them what a measurable and a realistic goal is when it comes to a budget?
Yeah. For instance, you may want to take a trip someplace, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Florida, California. It might be out of the country. Who knows? And you plan your vacation, right? So you might want to take within 12 months.
Right.
So you sit down and the trip might cost you, and I'm just giving an example here. It might cost you $1,200. I don't know. It probably gonna be a whole lot more than that, but $1,200 for that particular trip in 12 months. So with that, you sit down and you say, okay, if I got 12 months, maybe I have 12 months to plan for the trip before I'm able to go. So you take that $1,200 gonna cost you, and you divide that by 12. And every month, you know that your goal would be set to say, okay, I need to put $100 away every month for this trip, right? So that is a measurable goal. And then you have to look at your budget and see if it's realistic for you to do that. Because you may not have $100 to put away for the trip every month. So that may not be a realistic goal. So you might have to push your vacation plans out a little bit further than 12 months to meet your goal, to make it realistic for your budget, and so you can go on this particular trip. So that's what it means by having a realistic and measurable goal. It's realistic where it comes to you and you can say, okay, I have the funds to do it because I looked at my budget and said, okay, I can set this amount aside, realistic. Then it's measurable because you say, okay, based on my budget, I can measure it, that I can do it within 12 months, 15 months, I'm able to go because based on my budget, I can measure it to meet that goal in 12 or either 15 months.
Right, and then the piggyback off of what you're saying. So we personally use YNAB,
Yes.
and that stands for Why You Need a Budget.
Correct.
And in this budgeting app, you don't put your income in there in the app until it actually hits the bank. YNAB is so good, you can set up goals for a particular line item, and it will tell you how much money you need to save per month with a target date as to when you will be done with making that monthly payment or whatever to that line.
Yeah.
And so what I will tell you is that every dollar needs a job. And that's like the principles of YNAB. And if you do not tell your money where to go, I can assure you from experience, that money will get away from you. You won't know where you spent the money. And then you're going to be beating yourself up because you're going to feel like you're living from paycheck to paycheck. Well, one of the reasons why people live from paycheck to paycheck is because they fail to plan. And when you fail to plan, you do what?
Plan to fail.
Right. And we don't want you to plan to fail.
Yes.
That's why it's early in 2024. A lot of us made goals, financial goals, and statistically, most of us have fallen off of those goals. So that's why we're coming on here now, going into February, to re-imp you, to encourage you to get back on track with your goals and to use a budget. And for your goal to be realistic, make sure it's realistic. And you need to put a time frame on it. And if you are interested in making budgeting goals that are realistic and that are measurable, I encourage you to look at YNAB. And if you're good with spreadsheets like my husband, then you can use this Excel spreadsheet to do your budget. And then in your budget, though, you need to have categories like groceries, your utilities, car insurance. Like, what else you think they might need to have in a budget?
Well, and then I'm going to go back a little bit because you said something about following your budget, following up your goals, rather, that you already started for 2024. So we know Christmas just passed, right?
Yes.
And because Christmas just passed, we was all on this emotional high. Because at Christmas time, you get psyched up and you want to buy everything that you see, and gifts and all kind of stuff that you buy. And by now, a lot of the gifts that you have purchased, most people don't remember what they received for Christmas by now, right?
Right.
Unless it was something that memorable that you can remember. Most people do not remember what they received for Christmas.
Right.
At this point, and it's February, going into February. So one of the things that we want to encourage you to do is to make sure that now, the high is probably gone, right? So now we want to encourage you to make sure if you have fallen off your budget, and if you had set a budget, you fall off, hop back on it, get back on your budget, because it will serve you better now and going forward.
Right.
If you get on your budget and you buckle down and you stick to it, because guess what's going to come again? Christmas. And if you budget yourself right, then a lot of times you don't have to use your credit card to get the gifts. You can actually have the money already set aside to purchase everything you want to purchase for Christmas, and you won't have to worry about going over budget with a credit card.
Right.
What do you think about that, honey?
Yes, and so like with YNAB, you can have a line item for Christmas, and you might say, well, okay, I can save $150 a month for Christmas. Then you put that on your budget line, and you stick to it. And then when December comes for Christmas, guess what? You already got your Christmas money. You look at your budget, and your budget will tell you yes or no.
Yep.
And then when the budget says no, guess what? Christmas is done. Christmas is over. And so, like, it's heavy on my heart to share this with you all. I don't know why, but I'm going to. And our pastor said today is that what we do is our platform, but our purpose is God. So YouTube, we're here right here with you now. This is our platform, but we do need you to know that God is our purpose. And the reason why we're here,
Jesus, yes.
Yes, Jesus is our purpose. And the reason why we're here is that we're trying to help you. And the number one way we can help you to have a good 2024 is to help you to understand the importance of having a budget. I'm telling you, you need to have a budget, because if you don't, you will go to the end of this year and you will not have a clue what you did with your money.
That's true, yeah.
And that's painful to go to work every day. You may be even going to a job that you don't even enjoy. But do you know it's so discouraging and so disheartening to look back on your year and you have nothing to show for what you worked for?
Yeah.
But if you get a budget and you can control your money, you'll start to have more contentment.
Yes.
And living without having a budget, that brings no contentment at all, because you're always behind the 8 ball, trying to catch up.
You know the word that comes to mind?
What is it?
Chaos.
Oh.
Chaos comes to mind. So with a budget, you have peace.
Yes.
Without a budget, you have chaos.
Yes.
So because, like my wife just said, you always going from paycheck to paycheck trying to figure out where your money is going.
Right.
Because you have no clue, because you don't have a budget that's guiding your path to kind of show you, oh, well, guess what I did this month? I spent X amount of dollars on whatever it is, and that's where that money went. So now I can see. But without that budget, you're walking blind.
Right. And when you're walking blind, there's many pitfalls for you to walk blind. And what I can tell you also, okay, so we're on here and we're talking to you about getting a budget. And so what I'm going to tell you from experience and from being a financial coach, it's easy for us to sit here and say, get a budget. Oh, do a budget.
It is.
But what I can tell you is the first budget that you do, it's not going to go well, because you have to figure out what you have going in and you got to figure out what you have going out. So the first month may be a bust. And the second month, it still might not be that great.
Yeah, may not.
But based on being a financial coach and budgeting ourselves, if you're serious and if you're diligent and if you persevere, by the time you get to the end of the third month, you'll have your budget in place and you'll understand what you can spend, what you can't spend. You will understand exactly how much money you got going in, how much money you got going out. And the Bible that I read says, a man without a vision perishes.
Yes.
Right. And so for us, a budget is like having a vision. And so, honey, can you elaborate a little more on what it means to have a vision? And if you don't have a vision, which in my eyes is a budget, you will perish.
Well, when you're talking about vision, right? So everyone should have one, especially if you're a man and have a family. And if you don't have a family, you still should have a vision for yourself, right? And what a vision is just a vision is like a pathway that you have to know where you are headed, right? So, and what that means, okay, for instance, right? You might have a vision for your household that says, okay, for my household, we are going to serve the Lord, right? That's a vision for your household as you being the head of your house. So with that vision, what does that equate to for you? Okay, for us it equates to that everything that we do, we're gonna make sure that Jesus is a part of it. And how we do that? Well, we're gonna spend time in devotion. We're gonna go to church and worship. We're gonna spend time with other activities that involve with the saints or whatever the case may be. Even if it doesn't involve with the saints, we're gonna do other things to do that. And also we're gonna witness to others about Jesus, right? So that's a vision for this one of the visions for the household. So that's just giving you the example of what a vision is.
Right. And so I want to give a vision for a financial vision, a financial goal.
Yes.
So, for example, you want to buy a house.
Oh, yes. That's a good vision.
You want to buy a house. So that's a financial vision. And so if you want to buy a house, you need a budget, because how are you going to come up with your down payment and your closing costs if you don't have a budget?
Yes.
How do you know how much house you can afford without the bank telling you how much house you can afford?
Absolutely.
If you don't have a budget.
Yes.
So in order for your vision to come to pass about having a house, you need a budget.
Yes.
Because you need to know what your utilities are. You need to know what your insurances are. You need to know exactly how much money you can afford on a house.
Yeah. What if you have to have a repair?
Right. So that's why you don't need to make big purchases on a whim. And sometimes I watch Susie Armand. She is a financial expert. And what she will say, like if you've never bought a house before, what she recommends is just maybe going for like 6 months and pretend like you're living in this house off the income that you currently have.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're going to buy a house and you're anticipating your mortgage is going to be $1,500 a month, then you start paying $1,500 a month to yourself. Maybe you put it in your savings so you can really see how it feels to live in a home that has a mortgage that may be $800 more than what you're paying in rent. And so I cannot stress to you the importance of having a budget. And again, the topic for our video is your financial 2024 goals. And our point of this video is to discuss with you a budget.
Yes.
It's going to be challenging for you to have a successful financial 2024 if you don't have a budget. I mean, I can't stress it enough.
Yes.
Of how important it is.
Well, and then, I can recall early on in our marriage, when we first got married a while ago, and, we didn't really have budgets back, like a budget apps and all this stuff back then. It was more like pen to paper type stuff back then, right? And so when we started out, we didn't have a budget, but we had to figure it out, right? And through figuring it out, it was a lot of frustration, a lot of, like I said earlier, chaos, a lot of things that probably could have been avoided had we understood the power, I'm saying it again, understood the power of a budget. Because with that, a budget, it just gives you a path to success. Without it, you don't have that same path to success that you would have if you had it. Because you can just go back. What I really like I mentioned earlier, you can go in a budget at any given time and look and see where your money is going and what you are spending it on. And maybe, for example, and you may not even realize this without a budget, that you got all these subscriptions. You know, that's one of the things that we love to do, right? Go out and get stuff and it has a subscription tied to it. And with that subscription, you know, something, if you're not using it, it's easily forgotten. So when you don't have a budget and you have multiple subscriptions and you may not use it and you'll forget and you'll steady paying this cost for the subscription every month, right? Every month you're paying it. So, and it's just eating up your money and you're wondering what's happening. But when you have a budget and you identify all your subscriptions in your budget, guess what? You might say, hold up, I don't necessarily need this subscription, so I can cancel this one, or I can cancel this one, you know, and then you can have the one that you really need versus the ones you really don't need.
Right.
What do you think about that, honey?
Yeah, because like we don't have that many subscriptions because we use a budget.
Right.
And so now I've seen, and you may be familiar with it, where they're coming up with like these apps that will help you keep account of your subscriptions. Now, I don't know if it's because we old school, I don't know. Yeah. But in my mind, that is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why do you need that many subscriptions to where you need an app to help you keep up with the subscriptions? Yeah. Now, really, does that make sense to you? You're watching me, and you probably have a subscription that you're paying for that you don't even know you're paying for because you have so many.
Yeah.
And so what I can tell you is the number one thing you need to do if you want to get out of debt, because we live by a budget, and we are debt slayers.
Yes.
We will not be in bondage to debt.
Yes.
And so if your 2024 goal is to get out of a debt, what I can assure you is if you're regular people, you're not going to get out of debt if you don't have a budget. I mean, because how are you going to get out of debt if you don't have a budget? You don't have a roadmap.
Yeah. You
need a roadmap to tell you what to do. Well, to tell your money what to do. You need to give an assignment. If you don't give your money an assignment, you're not going to get out of debt. And then I need you to realize too that a credit card, it puts a gap in there. It helps you to live not in your reality.
Yes.
So if you're using a credit card, I'm encouraging you to use your budget to pay that credit card off, because a credit card keeps us living in a false reality. But if you get a budget,
false reality, that's powerful.
It's a false reality. But guess what? If you get a budget, you'll see exactly how much money you are spending per month on this credit card that you could be using to invest in your 401k, that you could be using to invest in a mutual fund, something that can be a benefit to you. Putting stuff on a credit card, it really is no benefit to you. But I know nowadays with things, people are having to use credit cards to cover emergencies. Yeah. But if you had an emergency fund in your budgeting app, you probably will have enough money set aside to cover your emergency because it's in your budget.
Yes.
And so what I want to explain also, that in your budget, just remember that you need to check it often. Yes. Because with YNAB, you can connect it to the bank, but we personally don't connect ours to the bank, because when you connect it to the bank, it kind of sort of takes away accountability. So what we do is when we use our spend money, we manually input our transactions into our budgeting app. That helps us to stay accountable. And also, what I will tell you, if you're doing a budget, if you buy something on Monday, don't wait until Wednesday or Thursday to put it into your app or on your spreadsheet. Yes. If you buy it on Monday, you at least need to put it in your app on Tuesday, so you'll know what you bought, you'll know how much you spent, and then when you go to look at your budget, you'll have an accurate amount of what you can spend on that line.
Yeah, and true, and I'm going to add to that, because a lot of times, if you're married, if you're a married couple, you might have, it might be the wife, might be the husband. One of y'all might be a little bit stronger at, the budgeting than the other, right? And that's okay. So whoever is the one who is managing the budget, that's the one, strong at managing budget, that's the one you should let manage that particular function, right? It don't need to be multiple people in there inputting into your budget, because if that occurs, then what could happen is it could get confusing in the budget. Because if you have a husband and a wife doing it at the same time, or one of them going in and do it, and then all of a sudden somebody else come in and do it, and you're not tracking it like with each other like that, then you'll get confused. Like, well, I thought I just put this in here, so why this come in here like that? So it'll get kind of confusing, right? So it's our recommendation, our advice, to just whoever is managing it, whoever is stronger at doing it, allow that person to kind of just manage the budget, but then you do it together, so you'll know what's going on together. Right? Okay. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's very important to know what's going on. We have to communicate with each other so we both know what's going on. And God forbid, if you are a married couple, I've read a lot of stories and I've seen a lot of stories that if one spouse dies and they had no clue about what was going on in the budget, oh my gosh, it's just very, very chaotic.
Yes.
So I'm just telling you that you have to have a budget so that you can tell your money what to do. If you have a 2024 goal, you have to start with a budget. That should be your number one thing. It's starting with the budget and checking it often.
Yes.
Because again, like I say, it gives you permission to spend. Any financial advisor, a financial coach, anyone that has your best interest at heart is going to tell you to have a budget. And then when you go to do your budget, and if you do it in your reality, your feelings may get hurt. Because
it may.
Right, when you initially do your budget,
it may.
Your feelings may get hurt. You may even have to go sit in the car and cry. You may have feelings of being ashamed. You may be hurt and disappointed that you have been living so far beyond your means. But don't allow that to discourage you.
Yes.
Don't let that make you give up, because I'm telling you, if you are using credit cards to buy some of the stuff you want, you already living beyond your means.
Yes.
But go ahead and develop your budget. And when you get your budget, you may need to get a better job making more money, or you may see that you need to get a part-time job making more money. But I'm telling you, there's nothing more powerful than living in your reality and being content with what you have. Because if you're always chasing the tail, trying to get more money, you're going to waste your entire life being in a spirit of discontentment.
Oh, and guess what we don't have that we can't get back? It's time.
Right.
Time is something that you cannot recover back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, yes, that's powerful.
Right. So when you do your budget, and if it hurts, it's okay. Just live by it. Do whatever you have to do to get more money in your budget. Stop living off of credit cards. And if you don't know what a budget is, get on the internet, get on Google, get on YouTube, and look up budgeting. And don't give up. You need to give yourself at least 3 months to get your budget working. And don't use your credit card. Just go do Uber, do Lyft, do DoorDash. Do whatever you can to stop using your credit cards in 2024. Get your emergency fund built up and pay your debt off. We are really here because we care about you.
Yes.
We are here because we don't want you to make the mistakes that we made.
Yes.
Yeah, we only probably started using a budget maybe within the last maybe 10 years.
No, it's been a while.
You think it's been more than 10 years?
It's been a while because I can remember, it's been a while now. It's probably been more like 20 years we've been using the budget now. Because when we first started out, again, it was kind of frustrating, to use a budget and stuff, and it was chaotic because, we weren't using the budget.
Right.
You just kind of just winging it, right?
Right.
And so when you wing it, you get those type of results.
Mm-hmm.
You keep winging it results.
Right, which is not good results.
Not good results.
Right. And the money that God has entrusted to us, the money that God has entrusted to you, He expects for us to be wise stewards.
Yes.
Yes, and in your budget, I highly recommend that you have a line item for giving. You need to be givers.
Yes.
That needs to be in your budget.
Yes.
Because I'm like this. If your hands is always clenched like this, that you don't want to give to nobody, you don't want to give to no charitable donations, you don't want to help anybody, then how are you going to be able to open your hands
to receive
anything? Because
Yes.
you're too afraid if you give something, you ain't going to get nothing back.
Yeah.
So a budget is a powerful thing. And just to elaborate more, a budget is the money that you're bringing in. If you're bringing in $2,400 a month, here's your $2,400. Then you have your little ladders below your $2,400, and you're going to have your categories. You're going to have groceries. I hope you don't have a car payment, but if you do, you need to put your car payment down. You need to have your line for spending money.
Yeah.
So we're on here talking to you about a budget, but I just need to make sure you understand what a budget is. A budget is only a spreadsheet, or what else? Or
it is YNAB, like a budgeting app that you can use. It could be every dollar, another budgeting app, or whatever budgeting app that works for you.
Right, and the main thing, that's what a budget is. Whatever money you have coming into your bank account, you need to give it a job. You need to give it a responsibility. Mm-hmm. And always on that line, give yourself some fun money, whether you want to leave it in the bank or if you want to draw it out for cash. But whenever your budget says stop, please stop. Most successful millionaires that I've read about, that I follow, they use a budget. And if you want to get to the point to where you are telling your money what to do, and your money is not telling you what to do, you need to get on a budget.
Yes.
Don't wait till the last minute to put in your transactions.
Yes.
Give yourself 3 months to get your budget, to behave.
Yes.
And give yourself some time to adjust to getting a budget. And again, if you have friends that don't support you in what you're doing, then maybe you have to keep it to yourself. But always surround yourself with eagles.
Yes. You want to explain what eagles are?
You want to surround yourself with eagles. Those are people who encouraging you to do better, people who are doing what you want to do, people who are willing to embrace you to help you to become more than what you expect to become.
Yes.
But if you want to play around in the ground with the chickens, people who ain't going nowhere, people who don't have nothing positive to say to you, people who just going to bring you down, you need to kick them to the curb.
Kick rocks.
Yeah, kick rocks.
Yeah.
And fly with like-minded people. You need to be with like-minded people. Because if you're not with like-minded people, you're going against what you're trying to have for your life.
And then what that does too, it stretches you. Right. And you want to be stretched. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we like to be in our comfort zones, right? But the only way you really grow if you get stretched outside that comfort zone and you hang around people that stretch you like that. Right. And when you start to get stretched, then guess what? You don't like it. Mm-hmm. You don't like it at first, and it don't feel good. But guess what happens over time? You be like, whoa.
Right. And so, you'll feel so much better about yourself. Just try to keep negative energy out of your life. If you're trying to live within your means, get on a budget.
Yes.
If you're trying to be a multimillionaire, read some books.
Yes.
Get on a budget.
And read some books.
Yes. And get around people who are not spending money just to spend money. Get around people who don't use credit cards and get stuff that they don't even have the money to pay for. Get on a budget. And so I hope with this video that you understand what a budget is. And to reiterate that, a budget is your income, and then you give your money a job. You have categories such as groceries, rent, mortgage, car payment, and you allot that amount of money in your budget so it can tell you how much money you have to spend.
Fun money,
Yeah, fun money.
Yeah.
If you can, I'm asking you to stop using credit cards. We're still early in 2024. Don't give up your goal. If you have a financial goal, trust me, if you get on a budget, give yourself 3 months. by December, you should be sending me a message saying, guess what? I did a budget. And out of nowhere, I didn't even realize how much money I was wasting. I didn't even realize how much money I could save.
Yes. Ooh, that'd be a good feeling.
Right. So trust us.
Yes.
And get on a budget so that you can get control of your life and you can meet some of your goals that you want to meet.
Yes, absolutely. So, honey, you got anything you want to elaborate on?
The only thing I would want to say to them that I'm pleading with them to do is to get on a budget.
Get on a budget.
And to live in their reality.
Yes.
Stop using credit cards.
Yes, okay.
And even if your budget hurts your feelings, even if it makes you cry, even if it brings you to your reality, you need to take control and figure out what you need to do to bring more money in so you can make your budget work. Or what I left out, you need to see from your budget what you need to cut so you don't have to do Uber or Lyft.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And those are great points. So just remember this. Setting up your budget is just the first step towards your 2024 financial goal, right? Your goal.
Right.
So what we want to say to you is stay committed, stay disciplined, and you will be well on your way to your financial success.
Right.
So I'm going to say that again. Stay committed, stay disciplined, and you'll be well on your way to your financial success. So Proverbs 21:5 states that the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance and advantage, but anyone who acts in haste comes surely to poverty. So haste, what does haste mean? So I'm going to use this as impulsive buying, right? Haste. So haste, what it really means though is going quickly into things without taking time to consider the consequences. So impulsive buying is one of those things you would do without considering the consequences, right? I'll go buy me this big house, right? I'll go get this fancy car. I'll go charge all this stuff right now because it feels good. Impulsive buying. But we would try to encourage you, stay away from impulsive buying.
Right.
Stick to a budget, stay committed, stay disciplined, and watch how you fly.
Right. And that is so true. And what I want to elaborate again on Proverbs 21:5 is it says the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance and advantage.
Yes.
The plans. You know what the plan is? A budget.
Yes.
And if you want to have more advantage in your life, if you want to have more peace in your life, and if you want to have abundance in your life, then you need to get on a plan.
Yes.
And that is a budget. You need to get on a plan. A budget. And so, do you have anything else you would like to add?
No, I think that's the key things right there.
Okay, so again, today we covered budgeting. We're doing this for you. We want you to have a successful financial 2024.
Yes.
So I will say to you, thanks for watching Mastering Your 2024 Goals.
Yes.
The revolutionary budgeting strategy. If you found our video helpful, please be sure to subscribe to our channel for more financial tips and strategies. Happy budgeting. We'll see you on Thursday.
Happy budgeting, y'all.
Happy budgeting.
Thank you.
Thank you again for watching.